Hey you guys, it's MJ from Alta Love. How are you? I'm sitting with some energy around censorship and control and freedom and feeling this sense of pushing pushing through that veil of privacy, censorship, distortion, control and violence. So it's the underlying program of being watched, of being under the rule of, and how we do in the claiming of the freedom piece with all of this hardcore distractor energy around our rights and our privacy. And hey Jessica T, thank you so much. I had to go to the salon. You guys are so the best ever. It's okay. I'm getting used to it. It's I got the thumbs up from my mom, which is usually like my main my main source of vanity vibrashe. My mom was like, "No, honey, it's much better. It's much softer." I'm like, "Okay, mom, I'll take your word for it." It is. Look at this is what you do to me. This is exactly me, my embodiment of my mother as well. I could be talking about like severe intensity or what have you, and you get me talking about my hair, we're off. We're off. I also have fake eyelashes on because I'm getting ready for a festival and it's fucking midnight, you guys. I've been in bed for about 3 hours, so but I woke up and I lay there for a bit and I thought, fuck it, I'll just wake up, I'll crack on. So I did a reading, which I've not uploaded yet. I did a daily reading for Instagram, and yeah, I was just kind of noodling. Hey Scott, how are you? I was just sort of like noodling about that stuff. The censorship stuff is intriguing to me. I'm mindful of not full on buying in to that. I'm not sure if it would necessarily serve my reality. In truth, I feel people's energy, absolutely. I'm aware. Like I'm aware that like there's energy that could think it's manipulating what's being seen and heard and blah blah blue blue. I guess my belief in the divine is just so like legit awesome that I'm like, okay, but the divine is still gonna rule the show, you guys. Like, well, it's frustrating in the form of just, my God, the perpetual distraction loops. Like, I personally sometimes find that though with the kind of spiritual awakening paradigm shift community where yeah, anything to distract us. You know, so much with law of attraction teachings and all of that. It's yeah, a lot of and those of us, I guess maybe just a little bit more anchored in the center, that and the more, in my experience, the more anchored in your center you are, the more obvious the distractions are and the loops of how we get caught up in the drama of our own existence versus just living the peace that we are. And then that brings me back to what I was saying about like the divine trumps all, alignment trumps all, beyond the running concepts of the limitation that we might be perceiving and or experiencing. Our default setting as a humanity to default into blame and attack in a thought form, and bearing in mind, this is relevant for a lot of us, bearing in mind that blame and attack is that which we do to self as well. Enough is enough, for sure, for sure. And that's more increasingly, for years really, I've been saying, you know, the lids are popping off. So that energy from the self-aware and empowered humanity going enough is enough is to me a divine mass awakening experience. for the globe, that we're saying enough is enough to an energy of covert manipulation, an energy of domination and control. So, of course, we all know that that's the same energy that we're actually dissolving and transforming within ourself, within the beingness that we are, in the light of our awareness, burning through the veils of fear, burning through the veils of any number of toxic emotional patterning that we might harbor in our beingness. And I believe that the censorship story is actually helping us to transform more disempowered thought projection, more, oh, the system, oh, the big bad big brother's out to get us. But there again, for me personally, in the awareness, the fierce love, the divine love that we can and have the potential to feel and yoke that elixir, the more that we believe and buy into that divinity, buy into your intuition, buy into your own infinite intelligence, nobody else's, you can begin to drop some of those programs and thus not be affected by it in the same regard. Hence, in any given moment, what is it that we're giving our power to? What is it that we're feeding energetically? Are we feeding more of the energy of a corrupt and divisive authority? I.e., are we projecting that into the field, or are we staying diligent in our mental discipline to stay focused on the vision of a better and more harmonious world? Are we staying, hence, like this energy of our commitment to new paradigm, new earth, heaven on earth, Christed consciousness, higher dimensions, all of this stuff to me ultimately in a very basic human level means, one, we feel better in our bodies, and two, we're not fucking around with each other, we're not messing with each other, we're not lying to each other. And yet we can go on and on talking about different authority figures that are doing that, and we do it to ourselves. We lie to ourselves, we distract ourselves with different information, including the majority, which is misinformation, because most of our world is based in an illusion, as far as an illusion of separation, which allows us to be playing out a lot of these distorted patterns. But again, all of it is held within divine grace as a means of soul's evolution, hence the soul's generation station. We needn't give our power to the idea of an external authority that is oppressing us, not anymore. Many of us, yes, we have the wounds of our past. We've been time and time again persecuted. Those of us, there are more of you now in regard to, depending on your placement on the planet, I'm very, very aware of this. So the feminine, for a lot of us as women, yeah, we have the witch hunts and we have female oppression in our karmic backlog that we've been healing. In my awareness, I'm aware that there's male inquisition happening here now, continuous in our lifetime, men and women now. Men and women are being unlawfully taken into detention centers and cells. There's this corruption and insidiousness is still happening on the planet, and we owe it to ourselves and one another to practice peace and integrity, to practice love and integrity, not woo-woo, not sitting around our privileged little circles talking about how shitty it is for some, but rather living in our integrity and our truth and pioneering a life based on that. Not we needn't compromise anymore. The awareness, it's like you have to understand the physics of it, like the actual kind of chemistry or quantum field of the expansion, is that we are now in a different wavelength. We're now vibrating in a different wavelength, which means the rest of humanity is coming with the hot love, vibrashe, compassion. These higher frequencies are triggering a heart activation in the whole entire globe. Whether we like it or not, people are going to begin to feel, they're going to begin to recognize their sentience, they're going to be able to biofeedback off of one another and pick up all their shit. And again, there's more and more and more of us in different placements that are able to hold space. And it's only in our divinity, it's in being the pillar of light, being the peaceful presence that you are and you know yourself to be, with edges, with passion, with authenticity, with your integrity. That's what we're not here to get rid of. Right? We're here to be the authentic truth that we are, and be humble about all the shit that we still have to work out, but let us not deny our power anymore. Let us not deny the truth that we are, and get clean in as far as the language that we're using and the feelings that we're feeling, and being clear in how we discern with the feelings that we're vibrating as well, because that's something I recognize for many people still. They're having these awakenings. We want to talk about all these things, and yet, and I'm totally guilty of this, we talk too much. because none of it's in the word ultimately. Only, and there again is like the word, you know, the word is only in its purest creative form when the intention is aligned with that is spoken. See, most words in our collective programming are people just on a loop. They're not connected to that which they speak. They're default reacting in the, hi, how are you? Oh, God, what do you do for a living? That's great. It's just like this robotic mental flip. There's no creative energy. It's flat, hence mediocrity, hence, yeah, you know, living in that flat, dull way. Bird is the word. Bird is the word. I feel like doing a little dance. Oh, just careful. I'm literally like dancing, cajoling my fucking coffee everywhere. My computer is right there. I'm like, stop it. Don't go crazy with the coffee. So yes, in my own personal energy field, I'm coming up against this as a theme and a topic, and I'm proclaiming that that's not going to affect me whatsoever, basically. Censor me all you like. Divine truth shall shine on. It's like that. And that's kind of the energy vibrashe that I sometimes am here to like emanate for all y'all folks when it comes to all this self-love, love and light. I'm like, okay, or fierce love. Like as in true power comes from love and compassion in my inner reality. Fearful like domination is actually disempowered, which is why it's all coming undone, which is why the veil is getting so thin. Is like your game is up. Enough is enough. Yeah, we've been energizing that for years, right? And now I just think it's making manifest in as far as like the insanity that is so obvious that's playing out on the world stage is like triggering everyone's awakening, and then yeah, and then we're all like, God, finally, jeez, guys. Welcome to the real world. Like, where we get to, like, be love and, uh, not like that, but where, yeah, we get to just be ourselves. Like, who would have thunk it, right? And I have to say, the embodiment of the more authenticity vibrashe is really weird, because in the last couple of days, I've been having this weird feeling of like, who am I? Who is this woman? Who has she become? Because my past cycles of life imprint in my beingness now is so far removed from like, the memory of this lifetime cycles now feels like a past life. I think because I've had so many profound, like, energy healings and, like, it's penetrated such the depth of darkness in my own consciousness. I'm, like, peeking back through, being like, oh! I'm like, push myself through a birth canal. And now I'm like, oh, yeah. Do-do-do-do. Da-da-da. La-la-la. I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, yeah. I remember I was sort of, like, aiming for that all those years ago, going through all the spiritual awakening on planet Earth, being like, guys, what are we doing? And like going through all this, and then eventually like, birth canal. You guys get to meet me during the birth canal. You got to witness some of the juicy emotional storming of fucking rebirth. And then, and then you come out the other side, you're like, I'm okay, everyone. In fact, I feel quite shiny and fresh and frisky and like, but weird at the same time, but more normal than before. Is this making any sense at all? As in, the paradox of life is real. So I'm happier than ever, but everything's more deep and more intense. I still have residue, but it's becoming more unfamiliar. The residue is like, oh yeah, I remember that, but it's not nearly as severe, but I do remember it, and I'm like kind of over it, but I'm like, I love you, it's fine. Like all those dark, shitty self-loathing patterns, you know? Yes, thank you, Jedi J. Patience! Learn you must. Oh, thanks, you guys. Nailing it as usual. This is what happens. As soon as I get to like 7 or 8 viewers, I just go into delirium and start laughing all the time. I'm getting hot and bothered, wanting to take my top off, but that would not be appropriate at all. And I'm not sure why I make that joke, but it makes me think of like, who's watching this and what are you projecting into the field? And then I think about the world, for example, and like just the amount of craziness that's out there. I'm like, and it's not even craziness, I guess it just is. But I think about sport bra can make it work, and trust, once I get to Portugal, I'll have more tank top vibrashe going on for sure. Yeah, I just sometimes I'm like, because like you guys know, I don't watch TV. I'm literally in my like little imagination land in the countryside, like driving around, having it neat. You nailed it, Yoda in the audible. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. When I was working with my producer, he was like, are you sure? I'm like, no, I have to. I have to do it because it's the only way. You people have to understand. I'm glad that you can appreciate how deeply aligned I am with the Yoda, my god, and all Jedi. And I know you guys are too. Even the Dark Jedis. I mean, come on, it's the same power, just the opposite end of the spectrum. That's also part of integrating the cosmic origin piece. Once you start integrating your cosmic origins, you realize that the little battles that are going on in the 3D reality are again very much an outworking of a cosmic dance, you could say. You get all those sacred geometric patterns and planetary cycles. And when you map them out on like a piece of paper, you can begin to see the kind of patterns that we in our own beingness also vibrate. We go round and round. We weave in and out of one another. We unfold and expand, and then we contract, and dissolve. It's the essence of those inner workings that's here now in this paradigm shift or spiritual awakening, what we're endeavoring to do and share and shine with one another. It's like going back when 2012 when I started doing this, I for quite some time was just recording. I didn't even have an iPhone at the time. I had a BlackBerry still, and I didn't have Instagram in 2012. I just taught a whole lot of yoga to avoid homelessness, and eventually it worked. And I then also started watching more of the YouTube stuff. And yeah, it opened lots of channels for me. I don't know why I was saying, as in like embodying the truth of who you are and rediscovering your gifts. It's like, I just started sharing intuitively, being like, that seems like fun. I think like there's like some noodlings I could share, but it was scary and weird and awkward. And I'm like, who do you think you are? Like, why would you? Nobody fucking cares, Molly. Blah, 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 la, 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 la. And then the weirdest thing, and again, this is like the battle of ego versus like divine will, where obviously I trained as an actress, and that means that like you have to do a lot of like screen work. You audition for stuff on screen, you have to get used to watching yourself on screen, and a lot of actors or training actors would tell you that when you first start looking at yourself on camera playing roles, you're like, it's like mega cringe vibrashe. You're like, I can't bear to watch it. Oh my god, I'm so fucking awkward and disgusting. Like, and yet, okay. And then I'm like, for something my heart, I'm like on this divine mish, and then I'm doing all the yoga, and the yoga's going well for the first time in my life. I feel like I'm actually like doing all right in the world and actually living in integrity. I'm like, bullseye, fucking great. But then there's more ushering. Everyone's like, you should continue your yoga training. You should teach teachers. And I'm like, I don't think this is it for me. I don't think it's like teaching yoga forever. I think there's more. I think I want to share this intense awesomeness that resides inside me, but I don't know how, because most people don't understand what I talk about. So the YouTube was like this little private thing of like, get over yourself and start sharing what's inside, right? And you guys can look back. I think I deleted most of the really, really early ones, but like there's some from like 2014, 2015, and like you can tell I'm more like I'm feedbacking off of other information. Because like, and I joke, and I think people think I'm lying or something, but I have not read another book since end of 2015, 2016, since I went into writing my own book and like channeling my own material and information. I don't engage in other information. Like you guys know, I might hop on a Fifth World live chat from time to time. I noodle and I probably watch tarot a few times a week. I might watch, what's another one? Oh, Astro. You guys know I'm into Astro, so I watch like a couple Astro readers. But otherwise, I'm very much not engaging in other stuff on YouTube. And I know there's a lot of information out there, but my main thing with information is, of course, the disinformation, but also just how easily our little monkey minds get distracted. And then we hop on a bandwagon. We hop on, this is the next bad thing, and then this is the next bad thing. And all of it, in my opinion, is distraction from the emancipation of self. Or the enlightenment of self, the true shining of your authentic essence in the here now presence of that which you are truly desiring to be and to see, because it's the same thing. And everything that is like, it's here, it's here, it's here, and all of it is distracting us from being in the here. And in my personal experience, that's part of the journey that I work with as well. It's the yoga meditation, having a discipline, having a physical discipline, a practice that you sit your arse down and you practice being quiet in your mind. You focus on the breath and you feel. A lot of us have these intuitive gifts and abilities very naturally, but if we're too distracted looking for who can give us permission to be them, then we're never going to be them. You are the one who has to give yourself permission to be it. No one held my hand and was like, okay, MJ, so now you're going to put your camera on, you're going to start talking to the screen. Or nobody sat me down and was like, okay, now you're going to write a book. I wrote it. I intended. I grafted. It's like and yet, here's the paradox. It wasn't hard work. I was en flow. It happened all really rather miraculously. And I was even to the point of going to Bali and being like, I guess I'm going to go to Bali. I thought I was meeting somebody. That bailed. That person dumped my arse. So it was like, okay, I guess I'm going to write this book. I'm going to fucking download this shit right in Bali. And I did 4 to 8 hours the whole month. I didn't speak to another human being in English for like 23 days. And then somebody who was gonna end up to be an investor of IUNPLUG, he was talking to me about my book when I was writing it. Met up with him, and that was it. And then what, a year and a half later, he offered a sizable investment in the company, which was incredible learning. But there again, it goes to show, I'm like, you can't just throw money at stuff, people. That's not always, you think it's the money, and then when you get the money, you're like, oh, that taught me a whole bunch of other stuff. Which again, it's all valuable resource, right? It's all energetic momentum that we build as far as feeling the deservingness of the value that we create. Now, think about the value we create. We are that value. And that was a huge insight in my early awakenings, was I'm like, why are we killing each other for resources? Why do we place value as the most, or rather, why do we place gold as this valuable commodity here, like as in golds, this thing that I'm holding outside of me? Why do we hold this gold as more valuable? Meanwhile, my compassionate heart couldn't bear to see the suffering in the world, and people thinking it was important to dig more or buy more or have more, and I'm like, but look, isn't anyone concerned about all this disparity here? And like, and then that was the thing. I'm like, surely we're the most valuable commodity. And then you think about that for a little bit. Wait a minute. What if we are the most valuable commodity? I wonder if there's anyone around this planetary system that would be trying to siphon the energy of that valuable commodity. But now we're all waking up to it because the disclosure is here, because the veils have been removed. We're connecting to our cosmic origins, and we're just like, we are the power. And I shall not buy into any of the bullshit. I'm just going to keep living my peaceful little life, because I finally realized, like, I don't really want or need any of that. And the real people, the brothers and the sisters, we're here to help each other out. So if you guys are like me and have like been broke and homeless and all that kind of stuff, it's in those moments that you realize humanity is kind in truth and generous in truth. Well, and then, except when we start to go into manipulation and control because we don't know how to be honest with ourselves. That's like another bullshit thing. So I'm going to go off on a tangent here. I'm going to talk about love for a bit. So something really peculiar is happening to me, you guys. Like, I swear to God, you know the Walt Disney program of like falling in love and happily ever after? I swear to fucking God, that's a total program. And I'm starting to awaken to the program, be like, ha! Oh my God, falling in love is a fantasy dictated to by the program. But I feel bad saying that because because that could just be my tainted nowness, and like my heart will heal, and then I will one day fall in love and blah blah blue blue, and then I'm like, but I'm not even concerned about that because I have so much love in my heart for self. And generally, I'm quite really just content with the adventure of life. And I am a little bit resentful of like my past cycles, how all of them kind of revolved around a guy that I fell in love with because deep down I was programmed to think I wouldn't survive in the world without a man. So like that my whole beingness was like, I will dedicate my life to you. And of course it all ended shits. So I'm now at a point where I'm like, wait. Maybe I'll just turn all that love into self and into my life. And that feels so nice. That I'm like, why do we abandon ourselves in lieu of the happily ever after, which, yeah, I'm noodling there. I'm literally like, oh, it's like the greatest deception of all. I'm like, we all go through puberty and then are like, hey, like looking around for the one that's going to complete us when that's just not, because we're the only ones that can complete us. Yes, exactly. So we're the only ones that can complete us. But here's the thing about like companionship, which is also friendship, which can be romantic, you know, whatevs. It's all just blendings, no shame, no guilt, just reflections. And I'm like, the thing of like, and there, it's more about this feeling of self-responsible humans who all know that they're responsible for making themselves happy. So you don't like link in codependency, right? You don't hook into each other and be like, you are supposed to make me happy. I fell in love with you because Walt Disney told me to. And you're not Prince Charming anymore. And I'm like, well, yeah, because the movie only ever fucking finishes at the beginning of the happily ever after. You know, we don't get to see that Prince Charming is actually a bit of a dick. And that Cinderella, bless her, you know, she's got more spice. She's got more fucking spice in her. You know? Like, Prince Charming is her first fella. She might not want to be finished there. All right? Did you get friend-zoned? What? I know. Well, here's my thing that's happened. The people that I've been interested in. I haven't been friend-zoned. I've been downright rejector. Or ghosted. The ghosting I find fascinating. I'm like, it's such a, like, icks vibe. I'm like, this is because I'm not, like, although I have an online business, I'm not, like, online a lot. Like, I certainly don't do, like, the online dating. I tried that for 5 years. Yeah, I couldn't do that, right? But, robot bed dancing. It's you guys do it to me. Of love of self unconditionally. Okay, yeah, I truly believe that, Rochelle. Love and grace. Why are you dead, my friend? Don't die! Don't die, love and grace! Come back! Hey, you guys, I have a question. I'm curious about when I'm hanging out with Fifth and all of you guys normally, because there's a lot of you guys there that cross over. So Gigi, Love and Grace, you guys, when you guys comment on Fifth's live chats, your names are blue, and then, oh, sweet, yeah. It's like when I make people cry in yoga, then in YouTube when I make you laugh. I'm like, because I forget. I don't consider myself like a comedian or anything, but then when you guys are laughing, it like eggs me on. I guess it's like a little bit of my actor vibrashe of like attention seeking. Tame the ego, Molly. Keep it professional. Stay professional, you guys. Yeah, so what I was saying, moderators. Is that something that Fifth like adds you to do? I'll have a look. Anyway, thank you for clarification. I'm curious. Or moderators, yeah. It's maybe like what to tone down. Like, do you guys have access to being able to like, you know, tone down the troll activity or something? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's like a lovely little internet crew. Oh, I love you. That's what I sort of figured, and I was just like the main integral like support system is all linked in. Because I think Amit might have been there as well, and like yeah, so y'all just like support the web as it were, like hold space. But I ain't gonna wake up. Oh, but do wake up or wake yourself up, or like your ethereal self. So sleep. I have that in my rebirth visions a lot. Not this, what I'm about to say, something else, but you're not privy to it because you're not inside my head. But like the Sleeping Beauty thing. Ninja got your back, squad. So let's say when clearly, because this is where the censorship stuff came from, because I'm feeling like this like of reaching more, of sharing more, of loving more, and that's it is what it is. But I'm feeling like getting to like, I don't know where Fifth is. She's like a regular 30, 40, 50 people watching. So when that's up, I'll also. Oh. Like, I don't know why I'm giggling like that and with the feet. What was I talking about, you guys? This is funny. Like, I'm sure it's super fun when we're here live, but then I imagine like when you're watching this at a later date, you're like, these people are bonkos ass. So I've got a Fezzy to go to. No distractions. Peeps that assist to keep chaos at minimum while chat conversations go on too. Nice one, Peeps. I saw Peeps, but I was thinking tree hugger. Oh yeah, okay, so going back to Rochelle's comment about Sleeping Beauty, but I do want you to wake up. Or I know what you mean, like stay in the dream spell, you mean? Or stay in the fairy tale. But then what I was thinking was like, yeah, I'll be Sleeping Beauty, but instead of like some prince coming to wake up, I'll kiss myself. I'll be like, damn girl, you fine. And like go in for the snog. And then snog the arse off myself, and then merge with myself, and then wake up as the awakening beauty and be like, hello! And retell the story of Walt Disney. And then also a friendly prince could come along, and then they'll get to know each other and realize they have a lot in common and that it would be quite fun to hang out lots. And they end up hanging out lots for the rest of their life. And like plucking apples together and catching snakes and frolicking in ponds, you know, like it's just that I'm like, what is so as I share this like hot love vibrashe with you guys, I had this little insert of a reminder of like, oh yeah, remember all the crazy like drama and violence on 3D reality, like that shit of like what am I thinking? But like every once in a while when I catch news flashes or drama on TV, and I'm like, it's all just like darkness web. It's all just like people cheating on each other and wanting to kill each other and steal from each other. It's all just such like, no one, again, our thoughts create reality. No wonder we all have such distorted relationships and like fucked up dramas in our lives. Think about what we watch on TV. That's what we're programmed with. Like, so yeah. Oh, by the way, that makes me think I'm definitely going to go into production for Unplug for Freedom. I'm getting some requests. I'm getting some random Jedi Masters of the Nation who are approaching me. I know, how cool is that, by the way? About being like, I want to do a series of interviews. So I'm going to do a series of interviews, and then that's going to defo inspire me to crack on with the filming for Unplug for Freedom, which is the final of the 4 of the Be the Change online courses. Hola, Divine Sight. My friend. I've been married 16 years. shiz def ain't easy for shizzles, my nizzles, is that, oh, Scott, that makes me think of Enchanted. This sounds, I'm a happy little working song. That she sings with all the birds and like makes all the birds and the bees come into her house and help her clean. Come on, little friends, and you know, that, don't we all? Like, I'm like, I can't wait for that. When I can just be like, la la la, and like all the birds will come in and do all my cleaning for me, and I'll just like dance with them. I'm like, that is the sweet life. I'm cooking dinner, guys. You're all right, love. You're all right. Okay, so that's a beautiful reflection, by the way, as well. And I have met epic couple creators. Straight up, 2017, when I was in Morocco last, there was this amazing couple. They probably in that zone of 16, 20 year, maybe even 30 years, like mature, but like sexy mature couple kind of thing. Not mature, maybe 40, late 40s, maybe heading toward 50, right? So not mature, kind of like that, I guess, early to middle age. I don't know. It's what is age? So they're like, yeah, but they have to recycle it all the time. You're 37. You're right. And so you're right. As far as like the people in relationships are going through just as much intensity as those that are breaking up and going in and out of relationships. You just happen to have the same partner going through these cycles together. That's what I got. That's the impression I got from this couple that I met, was that they just went through all those revolutions and came out the other side together versus not. But the intensity is just as intense, and there is no such thing as a happily ever after. The two people in the relationship have to continue to commit to themselves and to one another and to the life that they're creating together. So the illusion is really the falling in love and fantasizing about a happily ever after. That, as a construct, is an illusion. Our ability to be in the present and create a happy life with the people that we love, that's true. Right? Right. So, like, nope, as in you don't do it for each other, and yes, like, you have to keep choosing it, right? And in fairness, I think for a lot of us, we have to get to know ourselves. Like, I'm somebody who can accurately say, I am really thankful for the guys that I fell in love with, but I never knew, I'm weirdly kind of embarrassed saying this, but like, I shouldn't be, I don't think, but like, I feel like I'm just coming into myself as an independent woman. Like, I feel like I'm only really now, like, tapping the, like, like, everything from then has just been, like, and, like, and then publishing the book, and I feel like the last 3 years I've just been, like, running for my life away from these, like, persecution cycles and karmic cycles, and, like, so, like, there's been the higher jump, but, like, also deeper polarity, but now as we were, like, merged, and now we're flowing into this new cycle, I'm starting to finally feel like, oh yeah, I know her. Oh yeah, I get it. Oh, I can do this. As in, I can have my feet and be in my body on this planet safely and live well here. Like, I am allowed. Like, I'm allowed to be here and I can be myself, and like, who knew? Oh my god, what? Really? Is that really a thing? You're like, yeah, oh my god. It's like, so we're busting through some blocks. We're busting through some fears. The censorship piece is definitely one that I'm working with. It's going alongside I'm dropping the fight. So I'm now fully owning, like, the sole contract revocation, banks, authority, government, system. You know, I've been railing against the system for a while, and I'm finally owning up to, like, that as a story isn't serving me anymore. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to just live in peace. And that's just my own discipline. I really am... I think a lot of humans are, though, in fairness, like, just a simple, like, access to clean water, good healthy food, as in, like, natural whole food, fruits, veg, nuts, whole grains, sauces and spices and herbs, you guys know I like the herb, and plant medicine, so, like, it's all natural stuff that grows in the earth, and then, like, be able to move around and play, hang out with people I love, live simply, live sustainably. It's easy. It's simple. And anyone who tells you otherwise is baffle-gaffing you. Is, like, twisting, is manipulating you, and or they're not clear, and so they can't really assist you. And I would reflect back that the most of you guys here, if you're resonating with me, you're another Jedi. Like Jedi J pops up. You're a Jedi. Hence, nobody's gonna be able to really tell. Once you get to those like next boundaries, we can support, love, guide, share, but no one's gonna tell you. Like, oh, this is your step-by-step guide to enlightenment. You're like, okay. I'm like, no, you're way past that. You're taking your own enlightenment step consciously. Like, one step at a time. I'm like, nobody can fucking mess with that, yo. I love catching you live, Love and Grace. And weirdly, that's just come in, and I'm like, I think that's it for today, you guys. You've taken me past the midnight mark. Ugh. I love all of you, and I'm stoked about the festival, clearly, because I can't sleep. But I'm feeling fresh, mainly because the light's on, but how cool are, look at the fakies, the fake eyelashes. Well, bam! I'm like, my eyes are like alive, but like quite exotic looking as well. Oh, and look, Rochelle! I'm wearing this. My mother paid me a huge compliment as well, by the way. I was like, look, mommy. One of my YouTube friends sent me this. And then, hold on. Guys, check it. I've posted a photo, alright? But I'm gonna show it to you more. I just gotta find it. Oh, yeah. So this is also, and I got a new tarot deck. Supporting the channel in miraculous ways. So this is me. Oh, apparently though, this is how awesome I am, you guys. Apparently, so this is obviously road trip vibrashe, right? So I've been gifted with a road trip, like, carry-on bag, basically. And this is actually a wheel cover, like a steering wheel cover. And I'm like looking at it in the pack, everything, being like, oh, wicked, what is this? Sweet. And then I send Rochelle the photo, be like, everything arrived, look how fucking badass this is. And they're like, that's a wheel cover, but you look great. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, but I do. And I'm like, it could not be juicier for a festival at this point. And as also, I'm like, I was saying to my mom, I spoke to my mom yesterday, or I don't know, probably like 5 hours ago or something. But I was like, Mom, it's like the weirdest thing. Like, there's a familiarity in the essence. It's like this essence. I'm like, I know her. I totally fucking know her. And yet, there's this other polarity of like, who am I? Like, who have I become? I'm like, it's really wild. That paradox. Like the familiarity and the wholeness of it. I'm like, oh yeah. But then on the flip, I'm like, what was that? What have I just done? What have I just lived? What were the last 37 years? Like, what the actual? But now I'm like, what? It's all good. And I really appreciate that you guys love the love. Well, basically, it's like any human who's been like felt cast aside. It's pretty fucking sweet just to have a group of people who you genuinely res with. I'm like, yes, I knew it was available. God, it just wasn't obvious. Because I never fit into anywhere I tried. Thanks, repurpose at its finest. Zero waste, sinful vibration. I don't know if that's zero waste or not, but... that is the fallacy, yeah, for shizzles, maniz. Does that mean you're going another hour? Probably. But no. No, you guys, I just can't. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to go to a festival. By the way, I don't dance like that. Like, let's pull a card. Let's pull a card to close down this chat, okay? My lovers. My lover. Mr. Lover. I don't know, Mr. Bombastic. Mr. Bombastic. Shh. I'm trying, but I think it looks like 60s hot love vibrashe, but I do have to figure out, pick a card, any card! I'm like, how does it, is it this? I don't know how, no, that's more Rambo, Scott. Like, this is more hippie girl. if you catch me. I don't know. What do I need, girls? And also, I'm gonna totally. I should get big hoop earrings and bring my tarot cards around and be like, "Whoa, look into my crystal ball." Oh, actually, I did pull a card. It fell out, and the card, which I think most of us can resonate with, slowing down. There's a turtle or turquoise. Is that what they're? I don't know the difference, actually. I think it's the same thing, but it's one of those big ones, right? And slowing down. Sometimes I'm like, life couldn't fucking move any slower at this point. But I get this. This is about us inside and like staying slow. I'm sure one of you like literally was talking about that yesterday. The slowing down. Oh, Gigi! Gigi, I love you! Mr. Bombastic, Gigi! Tortoise. Is that how you say that word? Tortoise? It's like I'm asking. Is that how you say that word? Except you don't respond. That's what's also weird about the YouTube vibrashe. I'm like, people see you, but you don't see them. So, okay. Slowing down is for us, basically. So whatever we got, and this whole thing, this whole share about censorship and control has been about distraction and me banging on about how easy it is to be distracted. There's a solution. I know, I wish I could hear you. I wish I could hear you, Love and Grace. Except this is going to happen one day for us, I'm sure of it, all of us, as in like the 11 of you who are all here. The 11 of us here, I'm like, we are for sure going to get to hang out and have Blabfest. I want to say Blabfest 3000. Like have a a Gigi. Gigi, I don't know why. Whenever I see her, I have to speak French. I know I'm not speaking French, by the way. I'm speaking English with a French accent, but you guys get me, right? Gigi, je pourrais essayer de parler français, mais mon français est un peu blablabla, pas très bien, j'oublie beaucoup de mots, je ne sais pas qu'est-ce que je dis. But anyway, you guys, so back to the seriousness of this share. Okay. Hey, Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne, what does FI stand for? Or is that Florida? Like Venice, Florida? Florida. Okay. I honestly, like, I straight up go onto these shares thinking that there's gonna be, like, some Frizzle's juicy divine nuggets, and then somehow I end up just laughing hysterically. And... fucking hell. Wearing these fucking bandanas for you guys. Although, I love the bandana, by the way, Rochelle, and I absolutely adore my road trip gifting. I like, these are the things that make you feel so freaking blessed to be alive. We were like, who would have thunk that life was just going to be so awesome at 37? Especially because the world is... the 3D reality construct tells us that life is all downhill after 25. Like, I literally meet 27-year-olds who are like, well, I have to get serious and stuff. I'm like, oh my god. Amazing. So, yeah, Scott was right. We're going to talk for another... but that's not right. I am going to go now because... I was about to say, I have shit to do, people. I'm like, well, basically, I'm going to make more YouTube videos, but I'm going to do the weekly reads. I think I might just do, because I'm off to... like, I feel like I'm talking to a bestie, like, sorting my life out. Like, I'm going to organize my life live on YouTube today. But yeah, I've got more videos to do. Bossicola. And... I'll probably have a morning snooze, which means at about 4 or 5, I'm going to start to get a bit sleepy, and I'm going to have a little mini rest until probably about 9 or 10, and then I got to get this place ready to go, because then I'm leaving for Portugal. So, I'm going to festival and leaving for Portugal. Alright, Gigi. Gigi, because of you, my friends, I do shiz. I do the chiz. I'll do the... I'll do the Sag first day, and then I'll take off, you hoser. That's the Canadian. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a movie called Strange Brew with Rick Moranis and what's the other guy's name? That's what that's what they say. They say hosiery. They're proper beer drinking, you know, coffee playing Canadian folk. So yeah, there you go. Okay, no more cards, you guys. I'm hot in here. It's getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes. It's so hot. I'm gonna take my clothes off. Except I'm not. I'm definitely not. Big love for you guys. Virtual hugs. Virtual hugs. I appreciate all your guys' love, like big time, for real. Mackenzie Brothers, thank you. That's, yeah, but the Mackenzie Brothers is Rick Moranis, and then who's the other guy? Dave something? Dave Simpson or Dave Smith? Anyway, you guys get me. The Mackenzie Brothers, I'm thinking maybe they're characters from SNL. Is that right? Or SCTV? Pardon me, because I don't think that Rick Moranis is Canadian even, or Dave Thomas. Dave Thomas, I think that's his name. So Dave Thomas, Rick Moranis in a movie called Strange Brew. It's frickin' hilarious. It's classic, you know, industrial Canadian townsy. Like that's, I grew up going to ice rinks and it's real. Beer drinking, ice skating. Dave Thomas, booyakasha. There, it's all one. We are in alignment with telepathy vibrashe. Okay, I'm out. For real, I'm out. I love you guys so much. And I appreciate you so much. I know you feel that. And just remember, we are on it. We got it. Love you guys. Have a great day. Peace out.